So the first 3 steps, the pattern type, the moon phases, the sun, moon, and the ascendant. And to do this, what I do is I take the planets. Sometimes there's not aspects to all the planets, and it's hard to see the pattern. So I take the aspects between the planets, and I take in this case, it's one planet wasn't that, I just draw a black pencil line in there so you can actually see the shape of this pattern. Then it's easier to determine the pattern. So we can see it's not, if it were all over, it's not a trine, it's bigger than, it's bigger than a trine, within a trine, so it's not a bundle, but it's inside a half a degree, half the chart. It's within half. So this is the bowl type. We've gone through it. So we've gone through this before, but it's the first step. You just secure what the pattern type is. And I just draw these lines on the computer. It's easy. But you can draw light pencil lines on the chart. They won't stand out that much, but it'll let you see the pattern type. And you don't count in this case, there is an angle to the ascendant I didn't take out, but you don't count the planets, the angles to the ascendant or the midheaven when you're doing the pattern type. It's just between the planets. You don't include the nodes either, just the planets and the sun and the moon. They make your pattern type. Okay, so this is the bowl type. Then you just read it. All the planets on one side of the chart within an opposition. 1/2 to almost 1/3 of the chart is empty. The bowl type has a deep sense of being separated from 1/2 of existence. Half seems to be with you and the other half not. Because this pattern is based on the opposition, there is inherent awareness of duality. You will embrace your concerns strongly. You will also be powerfully aware of what does not concern you. You clearly see who you are and who you are not. You tend to champion causes and will usually go out of your way to give to others on one level or another. Your sensitivity to duality will find you questioning the purpose of existence. So this is just, everybody's going to have one. We're going to go through this as just the beginning stages of the interpretation. It's and I'll try and make some comments along. This is mine, so I can make lots of comments. One of my poems or contemplations of the last year or so has been this Libra bowl type. The you that I'm looking for, the other half of my chart, is the me that isn't looking. Because every time I'm looking for something, I'm seeing my projection, not always seeing person. If I don't look, I'm waiting to see somebody for who they really are. But it's this balance between the you that I'm looking for is the me that isn't looking. And wow, a lot of things get pulled up around this bowl type from that. Okay, now we have to determine the moon phase. So I want you just going over through the exercise to think this through. You find where the sun is in your chart. It can be anywhere, up, down, wherever. You find where the sun is in your chart. Okay, here's mine, 23 degrees Libra. Then you find the opposite point. You see where the sun is, you see the opposite point in 23 Aries. Okay, make a note of where that point is, or you put your pencil on that point or your finger just to get a sense of it. Then, if looking from the sun, if you're going counterclockwise with the sun, if the moon's on that half, going counterclockwise from the sun, then the moon is waxing and moving away from the sun, going from the new moon up to the full moon. It's the waxing moon. There's 4 phases of waxing, but this tells you the waxing, which side it's on. Then if it's on the other side, looking counterclockwise from the sun, it's on the other half, the moon is coming back to the sun. The moon is coming back. That's the waning side. So my moon's on the waning side. Okay, so we see that. So here, I just put the moon aspect. We look across the imaginary point across the chart. We see it's waning. We see the sun and moon. I know it's about a square. And to know the exact degree, I go back up here to the aspect here and I see the 93 degrees, 30 minutes. So I know this square is 93 degrees, 30 minutes. Past the 90 degree point, So it's before the exact half moon. So this would be technically the waning gibbous moon. There's the waning full moon, the waning gibbous moon. Now, I suggest you make sure you download the moon phases, because I did have them named in different ways, slightly different ways before, but using half moons and new moons. But then I finally adjusted it to just be the waning ones are waning and the waxing ones are waning. So I have the waning full moon, waning gibbous, waning half moon, and waning crescent moon. So the new moon can't wane, the full moon can't wax. It's already up there. So mine is in the gibbous moon phase. So with the gibbous moon phase, now let's see. What if I just do it as a slideshow? We'll see the bigger pictures. I can just flip forward with them. Let's just go slideshow. Okay, so you got the whole picture, hopefully. No, I'm not going to do this. You can see the whole thing, but I can't see all the other functions going on, so I'll have to keep it just like this. Okay. So with the moon phases, there were various versions of paragraphs for moon phases and what they mean, what they meant, that I used over the years. But gradually, they weren't saying it exactly properly, and it took me 30 years of working on it to actually write these moon phases to be inclusive of all the different factors. And I think I'd be aligned correctly. Many of the moon phases written in the States or in Europe start the conjunction, the new moon, as if it's Aries. And really, and encourage everything to go on impulses, is giving wrong advice for the wrong phases. Everything starts at the conjunction, which is the greatest darkness, which would be more like Capricorn. At the beginnings, you're cautious with things. It's only when it's halfway there you start to go on impulses. So anyways, I had to rewrite these. And now they are. So I'm just gonna read them out. And as we go along, we may not read everyone's out. We'll concentrate on different stages of the interpretations. I don't think there'll be time to do complete interpretations of everything in everybody's chart. So we're going to go through the introduction. We've got to get these first 15 steps worked out. Then planets and signs and houses. Then we're going to focus on one or two on the sun, moon, and maybe the IC in the natal interpretation of the planets, or if something stands out. And then we're going to look at the angles and the cusps. So we get used to this. So right now, this phase is the gibbous or 3/4 moon phase and lasts until the exact half moon. Moonlight's decreasing, and along with it, the desire to stand alone. This phase lasts the 3.5 days up to the exact waning half moon. Here, there's a growing need for you to belong. You want to be cared for or loved by others. Unfortunately, there are many other people out there who may not want to give you what you want. You have a need to be independent, but you'll also have a growing urge to gain acknowledgement. That full moon is moving back to a new conjunction, but it still it's working off the light of the full moon. And the full moon, and it's moving back to the need to belong or need to be one or need to be integrated at the conjunction. You'll be creative whenever there's a chance for attention. You're very sensitive to the response of others. It's as if you need some applause. Sorry, there we go. Some applause. You'll be quite critical of your past, and you should continue to strive towards future goals. You're coming from the moon and pushing towards the sun. You will rarely be satisfied with family situations, and you will usually try to improve the circumstances of everyone who comes into your world, whether they want it improved or not. You often want to go back, but you feel you no longer fit in. Your life will be one of continual adjustment. You are looking for new directions, but are usually unprepared to let go and trust others completely. You seem to be driven by a need to find a vision or purpose of your own. You'll have a sense that something is missing in your life and that you have to be prepared to chase after it. New dreams, like new seeds, need to be nurtured within for a while. Take your time. Discrimination is needed to avoid running down the wrong path or to avoid following the wrong people. Take care not to put others on a pedestal. Keep busy and you'll make headway. You look fervently for any chance to belong, but tend to be too eager to make it happen. You are prone to making premature commitments and will often try to encourage others to go along with you. Commitments seem to pile up, and you seem to be the one person left who has to take care of them. Trying too hard can be a problem for you and for those who want to be close to you. Try to moderate your own assertions. Well, lifetime battle for me. Okay, so those are our first two categories, and they're very general. They just read the two things, and you're getting into the person and the way they function, and they'll see it, and they'll be relating to that. Then you're looking at the sun, moon, and ascendant, the three factors. So in this case, the sun's in Libra, moon's in Cancer, the ascendant's in Virgo. So you have two. When we count, we use the 2 points for the sun or 2 points for the moon, and 1 point for each of the planets. So here, there's 4 points in cardinal signs, 1 point in mutable, no fixed showing here. So it looks like a pushy but picky person. You're just looking at the cardinal, fixed mutable. Then if you look at the air, water, and Virgo, there's a mix of them, but there's not earth there, not so much of a practical element. And I'm just playing around, I'm just making some ideas in my mind around this. When you think of daylight is greater, nighttime is greater, well, sun nighttime is greater, moon and ascendant, 3 to 2. When you're looking at, but nighttime is increasing, nothing, nighttime, these are all nighttime is increasing signs for the sun and ascendant. So the momentum of daylight, nighttime increasing, of moving towards belonging, moving towards responsibility, moving towards belonging to other people, moving towards sharing. My instincts tend to go that way. So you get the Libra, the Venus Libra, the sweet Libra. You got this sensitive, moody moon in Cancer, and the fussy, shy Virgo. So if you just look at this, you would think basically kind of a shy chart. Self-critical, reflective, holding things. But I have other factors in my chart that come out stronger than that end up being more my signature. But this general thing is my general thing. So you don't expect me, you just look at sort of balance. Later on, when we're doing all the planets and the signs, we'll start to see whether the balance is reinforced or whether it's separated. So like when you're going through the moon phases, you'll see that the moon phase is going to be within the pattern type. So it's going to often reflect the pattern type. And those two, we're seeing how they connect together, oppose each other. Then as you're coming here, just looking at sun, moon, and ascendant, you get a general theme, general attitude, what you feel. It's enough just to get that. A couple little comments. Oh, this stands out. Here, the cardinal stands out. The nighttime is increasing, stands out. Those are the main things that stand out. 2 masculine, 3 points feminine. Like, so this is just, I don't expect a lot to be done on this. I don't want to we're going to have all of these things in depth we're going to look at. This is just getting the first general attitude to the person, kind of first things you run into. Okay, so those are our first 3 steps, just the initial getting into a chart. If you don't have someone's time, you don't have their ascendant, you still see the sun and moon. Now, this is the 14-point system. I'm going to diversify a little bit here because I want to show you something we have.